You don't hear the wind at first, just the ticking of the mantel clock and the soft, suckling breath of your son against your chest. But outside it's coming, that kind of wind that peels bark from trees, that finds every gap in the woodwork like it remembers how the cabin was built and wants it back. You shift in the rocking chair, adjusting the quilt tucked around your legs. His body is warm, trusting. 11 months old today, though he came early and never cried right. Always quiet, watchful, the fire's low. You should get more wood, but your ankle's still swollen from chopping ice 3 days ago. And besides, the storm started while you were feeding the chickens, and you haven't been right since. The snow came sideways this time. You rest your head against the cedar beam behind you. That's when it happens. The crack. It's sharp, like a gunshot, but heavier. Deep in the bones of the house. You flinch, instinct tightening every muscle. The baby stirs. You hold him still, listening. Another crack. This one above you, the chimney. You rise too fast, head spinning, and cross the room in 3 limps and a curse. The mortar is splitting, lines zigzagging through soot like veins in old stone. You grab the poker, push the logs apart, try to smother the heat. It's too late. A chunk falls, grazing your shoulder. You grab the baby, press him against your side, sigh, and scan the cabin. Just one room, one way out. But the snow's against the door now, packed high from the drift. You try it anyway. It won't budge. Back inside, you look for what you need. Bucket of snow for water, sack of cornmeal, jar of lard, clean cloths for the baby. You set them in a corner away from the fire, then kneel and roll back the rug to find the trap door. Your fingers hesitate on the iron ring. You don't want to go down there. The root cellar's where your husband kept his old surveying maps, where he vanished for hours after the baby was born, said he was figuring the books. But the ledger wasn't in the loft, wasn't on his desk, wasn't in his coat when they found him. You lift the trap door anyway. Damp air rushes up, smelling of dirt and something older. The ladder creaks beneath your weight, but you make it down. Candle in one hand, baby clutched in the other. Shelves of preserves line the walls. Apples shriveled in vinegar. Beans pickled from last spring. A low table, a broken stool. You check the drawers. Nothing. Then, by the far wall, something half buried beneath a fraying burlap sack. You pull it free, the ledger, warped from heat. Ash smudged across the cover as if someone tried to burn it, then changed their mind. You open to the middle, names, dates, columns of numbers, and a mark. Not a name, not a word, just a symbol etched in black ink, a diamond split by a crooked line. You've seen it before, once. Carved into the post of the cabin you lived in before this one, when your husband told you the land was safe, that he'd traded fairly for it, but something about that mark never sat right. A gust above. Another crack. You hear a piece of the chimney fall to the floor, shattering like bone. You clutch the baby tighter. His eyes are open now, watching the ceiling, like he sees something you don't. You blow out the candle. Hold your breath, and whisper a promise to the dark. You won't die here, not for his lies, not for the cold, not like this. Outside, the storm screams like it knows your name. You sit on the cellar floor longer than you mean to. The cold creeps through your skirts, up your spine, into your throat. The baby dozes again, curled like a field mouse inside your coat. His breathing steadies your nerves more than you'd ever admit aloud. The ledger sits in your lap, heavy despite its size. You try not to open it again, but you do. The pages crackle like old tinder. There's handwriting in 2 styles. One is your husband's, Familiar loops and hurried numbers from all the nights he said he was just finishing up. The other is tighter, meaner, each letter written like it was done with a blade, not ink. You recognize some of the names. Neighbors. One's your midwife, Mrs. Anson, who hasn't been seen since last fall. Beside her name is the same symbol, the diamond and the crooked line. You close the book fast. The baby stirs. His little fingers clutch your sleeve. You kiss his forehead and whisper a lullaby your mother taught you, back when lullabies still seemed to work, back when storms were just weather. You climb the ladder, testing each rung. Your left leg shakes from the cold. The wood near the top is slick. You pause, shifting the baby higher on your shoulder. When you push the trapdoor open again, the smell hits you first. Smoke. Not the good kind. Not hickory or birch. Burnt wool. Singed paper. You reach the hearth just in time to see the edge of the ledger blacken. You didn't drop it. Someone placed it there, or something. You snatch it from the coals, hissing as the heat scorches your fingers. The spine is half ruined. Pages curl, smoking, but the mark is still visible, and now there's something else. A name scrawled on the inside cover that wasn't there before, or maybe you just didn't see it. Elijah Vance. You know that name. He's not from here. He's from Copper Bend, 3 valleys over. Used to run with a mining crew that vanished during the spring thaw 2 years back. Your husband said he drowned. But there's a mark beside his name, too. You flip through the book again, slower now, even as your fingers tremble. There's a pattern, the names with a diamond mark. They're all gone, dead, missing, driven out. And the other names? You recognize them from town council, from the land court that awarded your husband your neighbor's pasture last summer. Your mouth goes dry. You set the baby on the bed, wrapping him tight. He's too quiet. You don't like that. You tuck the ledger inside a flour sack and shove it under the floorboard near the stove, same place you once hid a letter to your sister that never made it past the first snow. You never wrote her again. The chimney moans above you. A flake of brick falls into the fire like a warning. Then comes a knock. You freeze. It's not loud, not rushed, just one deliberate rap. Then silence, no wind, no footfalls, just that one knock. Oh, boom, oija, and the sudden suffocating stillness after. You inch toward the door. It won't open. Snow's still piled high. You peek through the gap beside the window. A figure stands out there, tall, still, wrapped in oil, skin, and fur. You can't see the face, just the boots planted firmly in the drift. And the gloves. Black, thick, and untouched by snow somehow. Your voice catches in your throat, but you manage a single word. Hello? The figure doesn't move. You say it louder. Do you need help? A beat. Then, I came for the boy, the figure says. Not for shelter, not for food, not even for you. Just that one line. You back away from the door, heartbeat pounding in your ears. Thus baby lets out a small cry, the first sound he's made in hours. You grab the rifle. It's not loaded. You haven't kept it that way since the last scare passed by in October, but the stranger doesn't know that. You aim it at the door anyway, voice shaking. You'll have to go through me first. The figure doesn't reply. But you see something now. A print in the snow behind him, not a boot, a barefoot print, human, but wrong. The toes splay wide, heels sunken deep, like someone walked through fire before the frost. You step back, deeper into the cabin, toward the baby, toward the ledger hidden under the boards. And that's when the chimney gives one last shudder. A piece of stone the size of your fist crashes into the hearth, scattering sparks and ash. And beneath the crackle, a whisper, low, not a voice you know. You were never supposed to read it. You don't blink, not even when the whisper fades. Not even when another stone shifts in the chimney above. You just watch the door, because the wind has stopped, but the stranger hasn't left. You slide closer to the window, carefully, quietly. The figure's still there, closer now. Just outside the porch beams. No footsteps in the snow, no sound. You inch back, grip tightening on the unloaded rifle. You whisper to the baby not to make a sound, though he already seems to know. His eyes are wide, unblinking, watching the door like he's seen this before in some memory he can't speak. Then, the latch lifts, not fast, like someone testing. You push a chair against the handle, slide the butter churn in front of it. Useless, maybe, but it feels like something, anything. "Go away," you shout, voice higher than you mean it to be. "We've got guns, and we've got friends nearby." No answer. You wait. A full minute passes, then two, then the voice again, calm, like a man offering firewood. "Ma'am, you have a child. You'll freeze by morning. I can help." Something about the voice chills you worse than the wind ever could. Not the tone. That's polite. Measured. But it's wrong. Too polite. Like someone learned human behavior secondhand and is practicing it. You glance at the hidden floorboard. The ledgers beneath there, wrapped in flour sack cloth, still slightly scorched. That thing in your husband's hand the day he died, he dropped something in the creek. You thought it was a rock. Now you wonder. You take a breath, lower the gun slightly, not to surrender, to bait. "If you're so helpful," you say loud enough to carry, "why not come back after the storm?" Silence. Then, "I'm not here for you," just that. Like you're not the problem, like you're not even the point. The baby makes a sound then, not a cry, not a wail, a giggle. You freeze. He hasn't laughed in a week. The door groans slightly under pressure. Then it opens only a few inches, just enough for the wind to scream through again. And there he is, not tall as you first thought, barely over 5.5 feet, thin like a man who doesn't eat regular meals, wrapped in layers, but not for warmth, for shape, the way a man might disguise a limp or a wound or something he doesn't want seen. But it's the gloves. They're clean, bone white, not stitched leather. Something else. Like deer hide washed too many times, bleached by sun and snow and time. He steps inside, slowly, one foot, then the other. He doesn't reach for a weapon, just watches. You keep the rifle aimed at his chest. "What do you want?" "I came for the boy." "The boy's mine." "Wasn't always." That's when the floor creaks. You risk a glance, Dietz, and realize your son has wriggled down from the bed. He's crawling now, toward the center of the room, toward the man. "No," you snap, moving to intercept. But the stranger kneels, removes his glove. His hand is wrong, not monstrous, just off. The skin too smooth, fingers too symmetrical, a scar that looks drawn, not earned. He holds out his palm, and the baby, your baby, places his hand in it. Like they know each other. You stop, heart roaring in your ears. The man speaks again, but not to you, to the child, in a language you don't understand, soft, rhythmic. And then the baby looks at you, smiles, and says one word you've never heard him speak before. He says, "Elijah." Your breath catches. That name. The ledger. The man your husband swore drowned in the thaw. The man listed in your husband's book with a black symbol beside his name. You lower the rifle just an inch. "Who are you?" you whisper. The man lifts his eyes. There's sorrow in them, and something deeper than sorrow, something ancient. He stands. "I'm what's left," he says, "when debts go unpaid." And then, just as calmly as he entered, he walks to the door, opens it, and leaves. The storm takes him, no footprints behind, just the cold, and your son, still smiling, still staring at where the stranger vanished, like he just saw something you weren't meant to see. And the fire cracks behind you, throwing sparks. One of them lands on the trapdoor again, where the ledger still waits beneath. By dawn, the wind dies. You wake in a strange silence, not peace, but the kind that comes after something breaks. Outside, snow melts fast, too fast. The temperature's risen 20 degrees since midnight, and you can hear the runoff in thick rivulets sliding off the roof, dripping into the cracked basin out back. The chimney's done for. Smoke curls sideways, seeping through the rafters no matter how you angle the flue. You let the fire die, no choice. You've been breathing in ash since the stranger left. You'd think about him now, his voice, his hand, the baby smile, but you can't. Not yet. Right now you need water. You need light. You open the door, just a crack, shovel in hand. The drift is lower than expected. The whole yard's soaked. Slush everywhere. Your boots vanish past the ankles with every step. You fill 2 buckets from the barrel, then turn back, he saw. And stop. The door's ajar. You didn't leave it that way. Inside, the baby's still asleep, blanket kicked off, cheeks flushed. But near the hearth, the floor is wet. Not from snow, from underneath. You kneel down, move the butter churn, lift the rug again. Water's bubbling up between the cracks. From below, the trapdoor. You open it. Cold air rushes up, and with it, a stench. Mold, char, and something else. Something like salt and copper. You tie the baby to your back with the sling you stitched months ago when your husband still lived, and you thought maybe you'd walk to town in spring to show off the boy. He'd never been in that cellar. You told yourself it was too damp. Now he doesn't fuss, just rests his head against your neck as you lower yourself back down the ladder. The water's ankle deep, not fresh snow melt. This came from somewhere else. The earth? A spring? You don't know. You light a candle, move slow. The pickles are ruined, the sacks of flour swollen like drowned bodies. But one thing's floating. A bundle. Tied in red cloth, not like anything you will own. You fish it out, hands shaking, set it on the table, untie the knot. Inside, letters, dozens, wrapped in oilcloth and thread. Most are addressed to your husband, but not all. Some are from him, one's addressed to you, never delivered. Your hands go numb. You open the one in your name first. The handwriting isn't his usual scrawl. It's tight, careful, regretful. If you're reading this, I didn't fix it. I'm sorry, the land wasn't ours. The claims weren't legal, Elijah found out. He tried to warn me. The others silenced him. I helped. Then I couldn't stop. The boy, he carries it now. The debt, the line. If you see him smile, it means he remembers. I'm so sorry. You stare at the words until they blur. Then open the second letter, postmarked from Copper Bend, dated 2 years back. J. They know. The mark's real. It's not just superstition. It's blood and ink and land. You have to choose, burn the ledger or bury the boy. You can't have both. You close your eyes. The water creeps higher, licking your boots. You gather the letters, shove them into your coat. Then you hear it, a splash, behind you. You turn. The baby's gone from your back. You panic, heart exploding in your chest, hands grasping for rope, shelf, anything. Then you see him. He's not in the water, he's on the steps, climbing, dragging something. At first you think it's the ledger, but it's not. It's the box. The one your husband kept locked with a strip of rawhide. Said it was gun parts, tools. The baby dragged it. How? You kneel, open it. Inside the deed, not to your land, to someone else's, and a knife, with a handle carved like bone, and a symbol etched deep near the hilt. The same mark. You hold it in your hand. It hums. You don't know how to explain that, but it does, like it's always been waiting for someone to notice. You stare at the baby. He stares back. His eyes don't look like his father's. They look older, and the smile he gives you this time, it's not his. It's someone else's. The cellar is flooding fast now. You can hear it in the walls, the slow groan of wood beginning to swell, beams shifting under weight they were never meant to carry. You clutch the knife, then set it down, not because you feel safe, because your hands won't stop shaking. The baby's watching you again. Same calm expression, same two wide eyes. He toddles once, just 1 foot forward, unsteady but sure, then another. It's his first step. You should cry, or cheer, or do anything but stare. Because he's not walking to you. He's walking toward the bed, toward the hidden pistol beneath it. You move fast. Fast as your limp will let you. You slip on wet floorboards. Your shoulder slams the edge of the hearth. Pain shoots white-hot through your ribs. The baby bends down. Little fingers curl under the cot frame. You don't yell, too afraid he'll spook, pull the trigger by accident. You drag yourself forward, but the boy already has it. The pistol, heavy in his hands, too heavy. He wobbles, drops it on the floor with a thud that echoes like thunder in the tight cabin. You reach him, scoop him up, press your forehead to his, heart pounding so loud you swear he can feel it. You kiss him again and again, as if that could undo what almost happened. Then you hear footsteps, not outside, above. You freeze. The baby wriggles, trying to turn toward the sound. You slip the pistol into your waistband, wrap him tight in a blanket, and back into the shadows beside the stove. Someone's walking on your roof, slow, measured. The snow melt must have softened the shingles. Now you can hear the squish, the creak, the shift. Whoever it is, they're heavy. Heavier than any man should be. You remember something your husband once said. Back when he'd had too much cider and was trying to be brave, some debts you don't pay with coin. You pay with skin or silence. He'd laughed after. But now, you wonder. You check the baby. He's chewing the blanket. Calm, too calm. Then you hear a thud from the back of the house. You rush to the rear window. Someone's there, not the man from before. This one is broader, face obscured by a scarf and a hat pulled low. He carries something over his shoulder. A sack? No. It's fur. Wet. Dragging. You watch him round the side of the house, slow, like he's looking for something buried. Or someone. You remember the knife. You left it near the trap door. You step toward it. Then the front door creaks open. You spin. The man from last night steps in again. This time without gloves. His hands are scarred now, not unnaturally smooth like before. But you're not sure that's better. He looks at the baby first, then at you. You open the bundle, he says. It's not a question. You don't answer. He nods, not angry, just resigned. I told them it wouldn't hold, he mutters. Secrets don't drown, they float. You raise the pistol. I don't know who you are, but you're not taking my son. He smiles, almost sadly. I already did. You fire, not at him. At the beam behind him, a warning shot. But he doesn't flinch, just steps back into the doorway and nods. Then don't follow me. He disappears into the snow. And behind you, the floor groans again. Another footstep on the roof, then a crack, louder than before. The beam above the fireplace splits, clean through. Plaster falls. Dust chokes the air. You dive for the baby, shielding him with your body, and through the haze, you hear it. A voice, faint, not human, not words, just rhythm, like a chant made of stone and water and blood. Something's waking. And your baby is humming along. It doesn't fall all at once. First, it groans, a low, dragging sound that echoes through your bones, then a sharp crack, then silence. You hold your breath. The baby curls tighter against your chest, his little fingers gripping your collar like he knows what's coming. Then the wall collapses. Not the chimney, not the roof, the back wall. It gives way in a single breath. Snow, timber, and light all pouring in like a wave breaking through time. You barely get the baby behind the table before the cold hits. It punches the air out of the room. Snow whips in, shards of wood everywhere, a lantern crashes, glass shatters. You cover the baby with your body, heart pounding so loud it drowns out the wind. Then a voice, soft, inside the cabin. You shouldn't have read it. You turn slowly. He's back. The gloved man, except now his gloves are gone, and so is the mask. You see his face, and it's not a stranger's. It's your husband's. But wrong, not exactly him, a perversion. Older in the eyes, paler in the mouth, like someone re-wearing the same body. You grip the pistol tighter. You're not real. He doesn't answer, just walks over the snow-covered floor like it's dry ground. You back away. Your heel catches on the splintered floorboard. Pain shoots up your calf. You fall hard, twist your leg under you, trapped. The same leg you twisted last week. Now it's worse, swollen, sharp. You bite your lip to keep from crying out. The man crouches beside you. His breath doesn't fog, but his hands, they bleed. You see the cuts, the same ones your husband got digging the well that first summer. The scar from where the spade slipped, the crescent under his thumb from skinning rabbits. You whisper, "Who are you?" He touches your cheek, and suddenly the room's not cold anymore. It's spring. The door's wide open. The baby's laughing. Your husband's outside, sleeves rolled, face in the sun. It's a memory, but it's not one you remember. Then he speaks again. "I was supposed to protect you, but I bought the land with someone else's blood. Now it's yours." The illusion breaks. The cold rushes back. The wall's gone. The snow's pouring in again. You crawl for the baby. He's still under the table, quiet as ever. You drag yourself to the cot, pull yourself up by the posts. Your leg won't take weight, but you grab the ledger and the knife, and you say the only thing that comes to mind. "Take me instead." The man stops. You can't pay what isn't yours, but he's a child. He's the ledger now. He points, and there in the baby's hand is the mark, drawn on his palm, in ash or ink or something older. The man kneels again. He won't remember tonight, not the way you will, but the debt will follow him. You stare at your son, his eyes, not afraid, just watching. Then you do something you don't expect. You laugh, quiet, bitter. "Fine," you say, "but I'm not letting you take him without knowing what the debt is." The man's mouth twitches. A smile, maybe. Then he leans forward, whispers 3 words in your ear, 3 words you don't understand, but your heart does, and the baby does, because he says them back, clear as daylight, like he said them before. You don't ask what they mean, you already know. It's the name of the land, the real name, the one buried under paper and coin and lies. And you know then, you were never the settler's wife. You were the collateral. You lie awake through what little night is left, legs splinted with fence slats and rope, baby curled in the crook of your arm. The snow has stopped, the wind has stopped, but nothing feels still. Your husband's face, or what wore his face, hasn't returned, but his whisper lingers. You were the collateral. You don't know what's worse, that you believed you were just a wife and mother, or that some part of you always knew otherwise. By morning, the air smells different, damp, tense, like something breathing through the trees. You move slow. You pack only what matters, the ledger, the knife, the deed, the baby wrapped in every warm cloth you own. You lash 2 slats together for a crutch. Every step through the half-frozen yard is a vow. Not today, not like this, not without answers. You make it to the barn by mid-morning. That barn hasn't held animals in 2 winters. Your husband said the taxes were too high, the pasture too thin. But you remember something else. A time he came home with blood on his hands, said he'd butchered a deer but brought no meat, said the barn door had jammed but it opened just fine for you. You step inside, dust swirls. The old salt blocks are gone, the hay's moldy, but something glints in the far corner, near the base of the trough. You kneel, shift the baby to your good side. A box, long, wrapped in rotted canvas. You unwrap it. Inside, a hunting knife, longer than any you've seen. Handle carved smooth, etched with lines that make your stomach turn even before your mind understands. A name, not yours, not your husband's, Elijah Vance. And below it, the symbol again, the diamond split by a crooked line. You turn the blade over, carved into the back, so faint you have to hold it to the light. This land forgets nothing. You sit down, knees trembling. This wasn't your husband's blade, it was Elijah's. But someone, maybe your husband, buried it here as if trying to hide not just a weapon, but a witness. The baby coos, reaches for the handle. You pull it away. Not this, not yet. Your hand finds a board beside the trough, warped, pried up once before. You lift it. Underneath, bones, small ones, not animal, not complete. Your stomach lurches. You force yourself to look. Wrapped around the bones is a strip of cloth, and stitched in faded thread is a name. M. Anson, your midwife, gone without word. Your breath catches. You'd asked your husband if she moved. He said she'd gone east. Something about her sister. Now you know. He lied. And the baby hums again, a sound like the one from the cellar. Like the storm itself sang to him. You pull him close. Not you, you whisper. I won't let them take you, not for land, not for blood, not for any name that isn't yours. You gather everything. You step outside. The wind is rising again. But it's not cold this time. It's warm, earth-scented, like spring or rot. And there, at the edge of the woods, stands a man in buckskin. Not the one who wore your husband's face. This one's real. Hair in a long braid, face weathered, eyes steady. He raises a hand, not in threat, in greeting. Then he points to the knife in your belt, then to the baby, then to the sky. You follow his gaze. Vultures, circling low over the cabin, not for you, not for your child, but for something old, something that thinks it isn't dead yet. You don't speak as he approaches. The man in buckskin watches your every move, but not with suspicion, but recognition. Like someone looking at a story he half remembers, finally stepping into its last chapter. He's older than you, maybe 50, but his steps are quiet, balanced, like the wind learned to walk. He doesn't ask your name. Instead, he speaks one word. Anna. You blink. No one's called you that in 10 years, not since the trial, not since you ran from a town that burned its courthouse and buried its records, and nearly buried you with them. You steady yourself, shifting the baby higher on your hip. My name is Sarah, you say. He smiles gently. Not to the land. You clutch the knife harder. Who are you? He touches his chest. Jonah, son of Eli, blood of Vance. The baby stirs at that name. Vance. You whisper, Elijah? He nods. My father. He's part of what walks now, but not by choice. You shake your head. I saw him, or something that wore him. He said the debt was blood. Jonah kneels in the snow, traces the symbol into the earth with his finger, the diamond and crooked line. It's not a debt, he says. It's a boundary. You frown. He looks up at you. They called it the line of survey, back when your kind bought this land from men who had no right to sell it. Your husband marked it in the ledger, but others marked it here. He taps his temple. And here. He touches the baby's chest. You stagger back a step. Jonah doesn't follow. I thought I could stop it, he says. Burn the books, salt the markers, but the land remembers, always. And now it's choosing. Choosing what? He gestures to your son. To whom it belongs. You sit on the fallen log beside him. The baby reaches out, touches the symbol in the snow. It glows faintly beneath his hand, then fades. I wasn't always this woman, you whisper. I had another name, another life. Jonah waits. I stood in a courtroom once, said I saw a man killed over land rights. Swore truth? They called me a liar, said I was just a girl with fancy stories. So I ran, changed names, changed states. You look up at him. Married a man who never asked questions. Jonah's voice is soft. But the land did. You nod. He stands, offers you his hand. There's a place near the ridge, an old boundary stone, buried now. If the boy touches it, we'll know. Know what? If the land remembers his name. You look back at the cabin, at the broken wall, the empty cradle, the ledger still strapped tight inside your coat. You remember something your mother used to say when you were a child running barefoot in the hills before it all went wrong. Names are promises. Not all of them can be broken. You rise. I'll go, you say. Jonah nods. As you walk, the wind picks up again, but not cold. It's warm now, alive. And somewhere behind you, the snow begins to melt in strange patterns, circles, lines, and a symbol only the land seems to understand. The sun is high by the time you reach the ridge. Your crutch sinks into mud with each step. The snow here melts faster, exposing bits of earth and root, like the mountain wants to breathe again after too long under ice. Jonah walks ahead, baby strapped to his chest now. You needed both hands to climb. You hate it, being this weak, this slow. But the truth is, your leg's getting worse. Still, you push on. Because some part of you believes what he said. If the boy touches that stone, you'll know. Know what he carries. Know if it's truly his name, The land has chosen. The wind whistles low between the pines. A hawk cries overhead. Then you see it, the trail. Not fresh, but not old either. Blood in the snow, dried brown. Long smears, not drops, like someone crawled. Jonah sees it too. He doesn't speak, just narrows his eyes and crouches beside the trail. You follow it, slowly. It winds around the ridge, dips behind a fallen log, then stops at a shallow depression in the ground. A body's been here, recently. You glance at Jonah. Could it be Elijah? He touches the earth. No, this one bled wrong. You don't ask what that means. He stands, points beyond the next rise. We're close. You follow. The trail picks up again. Not blood this time, just strange prints, barefoot, deep. Toes splayed wide, like someone walked with too much weight in the wrong places. They lead back toward the cabin. You stop. The baby starts to fuss. Jonah turns. Something's shifting. What? He doesn't answer, just keeps walking. You crest the next hill, and there it is, half buried in ice. A marker stone, not big, maybe the size of a washtub, but carved deep with symbols. You don't recognize the language, but the baby does. He reaches for it. You kneel beside Jonah, steadying your breath. The baby lays his hand on the stone. The wind stops. The birds go silent. And the ground hums. Not loud, just enough to make your ribs ache. Then a line of frost spirals out from the marker around your son's hand and carves itself into the earth, a boundary or a name. You don't know which. Then the baby speaks, just one word, not English, not anything you understand, but Jonah nods slowly, as if he's been waiting years to hear it. What does it mean? You whisper. Jonah's voice is low, reverent. It means, I remember. Then the wind shifts again, and something moans behind you, not human, not animal. You spin. The trail of blood you followed, it leads right back to where you stand, and standing in the middle of it, taller now, darker, is the man with your husband's face. Except this time, there's no mistaking. The face is a mask. The eyes behind it aren't eyes at all, just holes. And from those holes the wind breathes. You raise your crutch like a weapon, but Jonah steps in front of you, arms spread. You have no claim, he says. The thing pauses, then speaks. You broke the seal. Jonah doesn't flinch. It broke itself the day you let the land bleed. Silence. Then the thing speaks again, but to you. You left something behind. You blink. What? It smiles and vanishes, just gone. No sound, no trace. Jonah exhales, then looks at you. The cabin. You nod. Something's not finished, and you know what it is, the deed. You never read it all the way through. You just assumed it was yours. But the land doesn't honor assumptions, only names. The walk back is slower. You lean heavier on the crutch. Your breath catches with each step, but there is a different weight on you now. Not pain, memory. You keep thinking about the name he spoke, the word you didn't understand, the way the ground answered like it had been waiting, like it had always known. The cabin appears through the trees, wounded and still. Smoke curls weakly from the ruined chimney. The wall is collapsed in, snow melted to reveal scorched boards beneath. But the cradle is untouched. You reach the porch. Jonah lingers behind, watching the tree line. The baby's quiet. You lift the floorboard again, pull out the deed. You never looked past the seal before. your husband's wax mark pressed into the paper with that heavy brass ring he never let you touch. Now the wax is cracked, flaked at the edges. You peel it away. And there it is, a second page, hidden beneath. You unfold it. At first the words don't make sense, then they do. The land was never yours. It was claimed from a family called Vance, without proper signatures, without even legal standing. The court order was forged, witnesses erased. You feel it in your chest the way guilt presses between ribs. You were part of this, even if you didn't know, even if you didn't want to be. You sit back. The baby nestles into your lap. Then the wind rises, soft but constant. It presses against the cabin like a breath. And from that wind, a voice. It's not the man's. It's not Jonah's. It's hers, your grandmother. Gone 10 winters now. She used to sing when storms came, in a voice so low it sounded like the wind learned language. You can almost hear her now. Every name is an echo. Every echo wants to return. You close your eyes. You're 5 again, barefoot in the hills. Your name was Anna then. You knew where the wild onions grew. You knew how to read clouds. You knew how to listen. You forgot. You were taught to forget. But something in your son remembered. You open your eyes. Jonah's at the threshold. He speaks without stepping inside. It's time. You nod. The baby wriggles from your lap, stands, walks, just 3 steps, to the hearth. He places his hand on the blackened stones. The whisper stops. The wind dies, but the echo remains. You don't remember falling asleep. Just the warmth of the baby's breath on your neck, the hiss of wet logs in the hearth, the ache in your leg spreading like old guilt. Then nothing. And then a sound, not loud, not frightening, just movement, soft, deliberate. You open your eyes. The fire's gone out. The room is dark, but not silent. Footsteps, small ones. You sit up. The baby's not beside you. Panic hits first, sudden, sharp, like frostbite to the heart. You call his name, loud enough to shake the beams, loud enough that if anything still listens, it will come. No answer. You grab the crutch, stand. Every muscle screams. Then you hear it. A thump, a drag. The front door creaks. You lurch toward it, and there he is, standing just outside, the snow glowing faint beneath the early dusk. Your son still in his sleep shirt, barefoot, cheeks flushed from cold, and in his hands, the ledger. He's holding it like a gift, like it's the only thing that matters. You rush forward, scoop him up. His skin's warm, somehow. He smiles, a different smile, this time tired, gentle, and maybe proud. You look at the book. It's different now. The cover, burned before, is clean again. The pages don't crinkle. The ink doesn't smear. You flip to the center. The symbol is gone. In its place, a name, yours, not Sarah, not the name you borrowed to survive, your true name, Anna Mae Wren, and beneath it, one line, written in a hand you've never seen. She remembered, and the land remembered her. You stand there, snow soaking your skirts, crutch buried deep. The boy rests his head on your shoulder. Behind you, Jonah watches from the trees. He doesn't step forward, he just nods, like something's passed between you that doesn't need words. Then he turns and vanishes. You look down at your son. He yawns, as if nothing happened, as if he didn't just rewrite the past. You hold him close, and for the first time in years, you say your own name aloud, softly, to the wind. And the wind answers with silence. The sky burns pink as you leave the cabin behind. You don't lock the door. There's nothing left inside that can be taken or saved. You strap the baby to your back. He hums softly, cheek pressed to your shoulder. The ledger is wrapped in oilcloth again, tucked close to your chest like a second heartbeat. You follow no trail, just instinct. And the way the wind leans, whispering through the trees. Jonah had said to walk until the pines give way to open stone. Said you'd know the place when you reached it. You do. It's a clearing of granite and ash, a wide bowl surrounded by leaning boulders, ancient, worn smooth by time and truth. There's no snow here, not a flake. Only moss, lichen, and silence. You step into the ring, and that's when you see him, not Jonah, not the mask-wearing echo that looked like your husband. Someone else. A man in dark buckskin seated on a rock sharpening a blade. His face is clean-shaven, skin weathered, hands steady, but it's the space around him that strikes you. He casts no shadow, even as the sun lowers behind him. You stop, heart tight. He doesn't look up, just speaks. You brought it. You nod. The ledger? No, he says, finally lifting his gaze to meet yours. The child. You place your hand on your son's back. He's mine. He's more than that. You take a breath. Then tell me what he is. The man sets down the blade. There are places where names carve deeper than roots. This land, it was marked before your kind walked it. We knew the valleys. We gave the rivers voice. Then came others with papers and ink, claiming what blood had already sung. He gestures to the bundle at your chest. That book, it doesn't record debts. It records forgettings. You frown. What do you mean? He stands now, taller than you expected, lean but strong. There's no malice in him, just sorrow. The ledger marked those who agreed to forget, to bury names, rewrite maps, deny the echoes. He steps forward. But your son, remembered. He reaches out, not for the child, for your hand. You don't flinch. You place your palm in his. It's warm, human. And for the first time you realize he's not here to take. He's here to witness. He closes your fingers over the ledger. It must be given, not kept. You nod. He steps aside, revealing a hollow in the rock behind him. You walk forward. Place the book inside. A gust of wind swirls, lifting the oilcloth briefly. Then it stills. The man bows his head, then speaks again. There will be others. They'll come asking, pretending not to know. When they do, tell them nothing. You nod, and then, just like Jonah, he vanishes. Not into mist, just gone. As if he was never meant to remain once the truth was placed back where it belonged. You look up, the wind stills, and for the first time, you don't feel watched. You feel remembered. You descend the ridge by a different path. Jonah's gone, the man with no shadow, gone too. The stone ring, already softening behind you, blurred by sun and time. But the baby hums. It's not a tune you know, and yet it feels like something you once heard, in the womb, in water, in dream. Each step you take, it gets stronger, not louder, just closer to your blood, as if the land hums back. You reach the tree line just before nightfall. The world stretches out below, hills still silvered with patchy snow. A buck watches you from a distance, unstartled. You pause beneath a cottonwood, The baby's fast asleep now, mouth slack. Fingers still clutching the edge of your shawl. You rest a moment. And then you hear it. A song, not a voice, just wind through pine. But it carries rhythm, tone, shape. It's the lullaby your grandmother used to sing. The one she said came from before paper. You never asked what that meant. You wish you had. You close your eyes. Let the sound fill you. The old world isn't gone. It just waits in children, in names, in the breath between what is and what was. Then a whisper, return the seed to soil, and the root will remember the sun. You open your eyes. At your feet something glows, a seed, round, dark, nestled in moss. You pick it up, no idea how it got there, but you know where it belongs. There's a grove below, where river meets stone. Your husband never liked it, said it gave him the chills. You always loved it. You start walking, and with each step your limp eases, not gone, but lighter, like the land is carrying what you can't. You reach the grove just before dark, no markers, no fence, just trees that remember. The cottonwoods part for you, their limbs brushing your shoulders like grandmothers saying, welcome back, child. The river is quiet, low, still cold with snow melt. You find the old hollow near its bend, the one you'd once used to hide bread crusts as a girl, pretending to trade with forest spirits. You kneel there now. The seed glows faint in your palm. You press it into the earth, cover it with trembling fingers, and whisper your son's name, not the one on his birth paper, the real one, the one the wind gave him. The moment it did, the soil warms. A root pushes downward, too fast, too deep for sight. But you feel it. A bond, not a planting. A return. You sit back. The baby's breathing deep now, still in the sling, warm against your chest. He doesn't wake. The stars blink out, one by one. No wind. Just the sound of the river and your own breath. You think of the cabin, of what it meant, a shelter, a lie, a promise that belonged to another man. This grove is different. There's no roof, no claim, only truth, the kind that grows slow but never leaves. You unlace your boots, let your feet press to bare earth. The ground sighs beneath them. Your name is here now, not etched in stone, not carved in books, just known, and so is his. You lean against a tree, eyes heavy, heart light. The baby stirs once, smiles in his sleep, and then the wind moves, soft, gentle, not cold. It curls around you like a shawl and whispers nothing at all. Because for the first time in your life, you don't need answers. You are the answer. Morning arrives like a sigh. No bells, no birds, just the slow, golden stretch of light through pine needles and the hush of water easing over river stone. You don't rush to stand. You listen to your son's breath, to the warm soil under your fingertips, to your own heartbeat. Steady, quiet now. As if even it knows there's no more chasing. You rock slightly where you sit, eyes half closed, watching light play across his face. He doesn't stir. He knows, too. The seed you buried has taken root. The ledger is gone. The name you feared is not a burden. Tone, it's a song. One only the land remembers and only the wind sings. The debt is not past. It's been rewritten. You rise slowly, leaving your boots off. The earth welcomes bare feet better. You don't look back toward the ridge. You don't need to. Nothing up there owns you now. From this day forward, every step you take is not away from something broken. It's towards something true. You press your lips to your son's brow. He hums again, that same tune, older than words, and the wind hums with him, then fades, soft, final, like a fire going out in the night, and the trees remember you as one of their own.